Okay, let's go. I changed a lot of things in the base, and I'm going to show you some of them. One of them is the control room and what this thing does for your base.
In the control room, you can change base lighting and colors, rename your base, and see information about power and structural integrity. But not the integrity of societal power structures.
Haha, the integrity of societal power struggles. Haha. This here we're swimming up on is a sea truck dock.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
This here is the sea truck dock. And what it does is it gives you the potential to be able to name the vehicle, change the base color of the vehicle, the stripe color on the side, and then the color on the interior, as well as to give it a specific name. And this again is the sea truck dock. This thing is amazing. It repairs the vehicle, and I believe the modules, as well as can recharge the sea truck. Okay, so the next thing we're going to build here is an add-on to the sea truck modular design. What we're going to build is called a fabrication module. What this thing does is it gives you the ability to use the energy and the power cell in the sea truck to create and fabricate things on the go, as well as it gives you an additional storage area for things that you find. So it is a very, very unique module if you're trying to build things on the fly or even consolidate things. You can take two quartz and turn them into glass. So it helps you store things and save storage space on the fly, or make things if you need to, or cook food even. You can do a lot of different things with it. So the first big room I'm going to show you is a backup generator room. That is a bioreactor, and I've got two water filtration units that are making water just in case to take with me, or if I get dehydrated at the fly. And essentially you stick in any organic material into the bioreactor, and it makes additional energy. We've tested this out once. It's a great tool if you need a lot of energy to do things. So I essentially just installed it as a cosmetic backup because I like it. I think it's a really unique piece of equipment. And secondly, it's a pretty efficient generator. And it gets rid of extra things if you don't need things. Organic things, that is. So stick things in and it makes electricity. And here is some water that is filtered, and the two byproducts of the water filtration process is drinking water and salt. And the salt can be used to cure foods. So if you have fish inside the alien containment and you make a bunch of fish, you can cook food and then have a food supply. And then this is the observation tower. This place is really dynamic because you get a whole different atmospheric phenomenon type things that go on. Lightning storms, rain, hail, and then you get really beautiful skies at night. You see like kind of an aurora borealis. It's a really cool place to see things. It's really beautiful. It's my comfort zone. I like it up there. I divided this area into 2 quadrants, or 2 sectors if you will, essentially 3 sectors. The first one is the organic area where you have like fish that you can use for the bioreactor, or if there's organic materials that are needed to build electronics or circuits or chemistry. That's the organic area. And then in this area you'd have the inorganics, and that's all your different materials to synthesize, fabricate, upgrade, anything that requires inorganic materials such as titanium, quartz, copper, gold and silver, lithium, magnetite, lead, sulfur, diamonds and rubies, as well as uranite and that crystal, the krylon I think they call it or something. That all these different materials are variants of inorganics, and then when you fuse them, I have an additional locker for things that have been fused or just additional materials for advanced building, and then I use that locker to temporarily store things. The third of the areas is the alien containment, where you can make fish or put fish to procreate, and they can make more or duplicate. Or another unique property of the alien containment is it can hatch eggs. So that's one great place. This next area I'm showing you here is the moon pool. The moon pool is where we have a robot we'll put, and essentially we'll get a station to add upgrades, change out different parts, store it, house it, and as well as recharge it.
Welcome aboard,
it's a giant robot. It's really, really cool. And that's where it's docked, essentially, is in the moon pool. The one and final last thing I wanted to show you is the second floor that I installed. It's like a skylight greenhouse. And essentially I'm going to put plants up here, and it's going to turn into a really cool area. I might add some windows on the side walls to kind of give it a more open appeal. But that's basically the major upgrades. But the coolest thing to finalize all this is the control room, where it gives you a blueprint layout of the entire building and all the different compartments. And I think it has information on structural flooding and all. Energy isolation, to where you can shut off or turn on certain electrical equipment, and the lighting, and so you can reserve energy from your core power source. So in this case the lights are off, and it changes the entire environment. So if there's fish that glow in the dark, they'll light up. The skylight in the green room, the greenhouse room, that looks really cool too at night. And then being able to see things through a dark canopy, the overhang and the sky, the astrological phenomenon that takes place. It's kind of neat. There's also the properties to name the base, change the color of it, the striping on the walls. The control room gives you feedback on the time of day. Another thing it does is give you a structural integrity feedback. If you can add on to the structure, you have to increase its strength. And the third and final thing was the energy input to output chart that tells you what you're using versus how much you're generating. So, and that's pretty much the general outline of the entire facility. And this is a general base. This is Star Tech Labs, and then we'll be able to use the different facilities to do research or make observations, and then from that point grow it larger or add and change things. One of the final things I want to discuss is this amazing piece of equipment we discovered recently, but we haven't installed yet. It's called the Recyclotron.
This hybrid technology allows for the recycling of natural resource components, without rinsing and sorting them into bins first.
And what it does is any items that you use as subparts to more complex items, such as a battery may require components. And those base components, the Recyclotron it'll basically break things down that you put in to its raw material. So for a power cell, it takes 2 battery and silicone rubber. And it breaks it back down, all the way down from the battery down to the component. So whatever is in it, it'll break it down to the most base component level. And it'll do it each time a step downward. It's a really unique system. One of the perks of having this is where if you need to take a lot of titanium somewhere, you can make an ingot, which is 5 slots of titanium. But it only takes 1 once the ingot's created. With the Recyclotron, it'll take it from an ingot and break it into 5 titanium components. So it gives you the ability to transfer a ton of different items from A to B, or build bases, or store items. It's a very, 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 very powerful tool. And with all that being said, one of the first things we're going to do is look for a material inside that giant jellyfish-looking plant called the Ventgarden. There is a material that's inside of it we're going to need to build synthetic material. And once we get that, we'll be able to build a suit. And that suit that I'm trying to build, it recycles water that comes out of your body. So it'll take your moisture out of your breath. It'll take moisture essentially from when you sweat. It'll filter that out into a drinking water. The suit saves you from a lot of wasted water consumption. So you're drinking a lot of water nonstop. And this really curbs that problem. To where the only concern you'll have is food. And after that is we go to try to locate Margaret. She has a base on top of an iceberg 100 meters north of Delta Station. So we're going to try to chase that down and see what she's doing and get some information on Robin, the main character's sister, Sam, and see what they had in common or what's going on between them, or what caused her sister to die or pass away, if you will. And it gets quite interesting, and then I take another side quest to go back down into Margaret's underground home to collect some more information just to see what's going on. This episode's really good. I hope you guys get a feel for all the different biomes and the things that happen. This is one of my biggest episodes so far. So if you're watching, thanks. And if you like it, please leave a like and say something. Leave a comment. Critical feedback, opinions. So aside from that, thanks. Hope you like it. Enjoy.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
This artifact could provide useful information. Processing. I can visualize a location where we may find an important component for my body. The image is hazy, but I am sure it is correct. A stark surface landscape, dangerously cold. Curved spires stretch to the sky.
Hypothermia imminent.
How do humans cope with the loss of memories?
Like forgetting someone's birthday? I don't know, it just happens.
When you die, some quantity of knowledge is lost forever to the next generation. Isn't that?
I'm warning you, if you call humanity inefficient one more time, I will swim us both into the mouth of the Leviathan.
Is that sarcasm? I am still having trouble differentiating.
How inefficient?
Efficiency aside, does the loss of knowledge not create complications?
Well, on a personal level, losing someone can be traumatic. But it's harder to process the idea of generational knowledge. Humans aren't networked, so we can't even be aware of what we're losing moment by moment. We try to learn from history. Maybe it's not ideal, but it's what we have.
What happens when you no longer have the memories of others to combine with your own?
You make your own memories and interpretations. You have to experience life as an autonomous being. Discover yourself.
That idea is foreign to me.
Damn satellite hasn't passed by in a while. I guess that was your doing.
Sam's not the only one in the family who knew what to do with vague directions in old wire.
She was an original, that sister of yours. First time I met her, I was sure she was Altera through and through. Not a crease in her uniform. Sending those damn bird bots to spy everywhere. Then, she surprised me. Maybe a little too much.
Meaning?
If you really want to know, there's a PDA on the bench that can point you in the right direction. If you need anything else, don't bother me. But you can help yourself at the greenhouse. Least I can do to repay you for getting those spine pests off my back.
I've already synthesized an antidote and stashed it in a cave. I can go grab it and...
That's your plan?
You don't think it'll work?
You're thinking too small. Like maybe if you're polite enough about destroying the bacteria, Altera will come around and see it your way. But do you believe in yourself or not?
I think so.
You think so? Come on! Is the bacteria a threat, or isn't it?
It is.
Does it need to be dealt with or not?
It does.
So who's right on this?
I am.
Say it like you mean it!
I am.
I said like you mean it, not like you're testifying before a rigged transgov court.
I am.
Great! Then what you gotta do is seal off the whole cave. I've got just the stuff. Made it for fishing, but it blew the whole ice shelf halfway to deep space. Vaporized all the fish.
Okay.
And you gotta hit the lab too, or there's just no point. Actually, you know what? Let me take care of that one. It'll be fun. All right, Marge, old girl. We hate this greenhouse. So here are some pointers to remember so we never have to do the worst parts again. Too bad you can't fight me. You can look all you want. There's more to Marguerite than any damn fangled gadget can see. Too bad you can't fight malnutrition by hunting it down and killing it. So, first thing, insulation. First few nights the soil was rock solid. Ended up having to insulate the damn place with dehydrated kelp. Adding a thermal mass helped too. Heat from barrels of water. Probably should have just eaten the damned kelp. But nope, my body was craving a salad. Wish I was just made of exosuit. Next, grow lights were a must-have. Gotta admit, I felt pretty proud of my first full crop of lettuce. Fed half of it to Preston. That snowstalker will eat practically anything. Always spits half of it out, though. Another thing we have in common. The slobbery green mess makes good compost.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Welcome aboard, Captain.
you again. A fortnight into our voyage, I was more or less living inside the creature's ribcage. It meant shelter, and it meant food. The flesh was starting to rot. The stench was unlike anything I'd ever smelled. As we floated, the temperature dropped, and the rotten meat began to stiffen and freeze. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the Reaper began to lose buoyancy. We sank a little each day. My sanctuary was becoming my tomb, and I was at the mercy of the current and the winds. Until one day, I saw a smattering of penguins in the distance. Swimming birds usually mean solid land of some kind. I was lucky. The winds followed their path. Hours later, I saw a blessed sight. An unmoving cloud sitting upon the water. Land. It renewed my spirit as I watched the land get closer and closer. The Reaper slowly sank, but I was no longer worried. When the Reaper finally sank below the water, I was close enough to lazily swim my way to shore. I made a note to come back for the Reaper's skull. I didn't ride the beast for 3 weeks to have no proof. Land never felt so good, even in this Arctic hell.
Welcome aboard, Captain.